Thanks for joining me at Miller's Laboratory. This is Sue, and I have 3 journals here that I want to show you. They are all almost the same. I'm going to flip through one in detail, and then the other 2 I will just go through quickly so you can see the very minor differences between them. I used the same digitals, I used pages from the same books, so they're very close but slightly different. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. Every like, every comment that you make is much appreciated, and I definitely appreciate everyone that has visited my Etsy shop, and certainly the people that have purchased journals from my Etsy shop. You are awesome, and I appreciate you so much, I can't even say. All right, so these 3 little books are all the same size. They're made with these blue covers, and the size is about 6 inches tall and about 4 inches wide, and just a little bit of gatoring there because that's how I roll. It wound up being about 1 3/8 thick when it's tied closed. I think there are 124 pages in here. I counted them before I started and then I forgot. I should have written it down. So I'll pop the number up here on the video for you, and it will certainly be in the listing too and in the description. So I just numbered these 1, 2, and 3. So I didn't put any specific names on them, and I think I'm just going to do one listing with 3 different books. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the tie, and I used the sari silk, the ivory colored sari silk with the gold glitz in it. I just thought that was pretty and kind of went with this little bit of lace that I glued on. I wound up doing the covers a lot differently than I planned, but that's how things work sometimes, and I'm happy with how they turned out. I was going to put some dangly charms and beads on them, and once I got the lace on there, I just really thought it wasn't necessary. It was overkill. So what I used for the fabric on the spines to reinforce them is ties. And I just got the idea when I was at the thrift store looking for different fabrics to use, and the tie fabrics are so pretty. So I decided to use those. So that's what this one looks like. This is number 1. And this is number 2. Kind of more of a blue background, like a paisley. That's just a little piece of paper slipped in there with the number. And then number 3 is more of a burgundy and gray, also a paisley, I would call it. I don't know what you call it. It's tie fabric. But they're all a little different, but they do look so cute together. You know, if you wanted to have a set, they look really pretty on the shelf together. All right, I'm just going to set these 2 aside for now. All right, so first of all, I was able to save the fly leaf on both sides, which is the piece of paper that's glued all the way across the inside of the cover and then comes over here and creates a page. And then the book block gets glued or attached here. So I just removed the book block from there, and so in the back you'll see here too, I was able to see that original piece. And I love the color of the paper. So I didn't put any pockets or anything in here, but you certainly can add those if you want to. I put a book plate with the praying hands, and on the inside of the spine, I've just used some old book page that's some kind of French paper. It's old. I don't think it's rag paper, but it's really got a cool texture to it, and it just looked pretty in there. All right. So most of the images that you're going to see in here are digitals. Some are things I purchased. Some are things I got from the New York Public Library. And some things are originals that I scanned. I've been collecting some interesting religious ephemera, and I'm Lutheran, so I'm interested in old German ephemera, and so I've incorporated a little bit of that in this book. There's an old hymn page. This was an old like a Bible instruction book. And I got my inspiration for this from Christmas cards. I used to make cards. I don't ever find the time to do it anymore. But one of my favorite methods to do was to just punch out different papers and then put a little embellishment on each one and make like a very clean, neat sort of mosaic collage type thing. So I've got quite a few of those throughout the book, and I think it looks nice in this book because I used snippets from the pages, so it kind of ties everything together as you flip through. So here is one of my vintage confirmation girls, and this one is a side tuck pocket here. Inside there is just a little journal card here. And another thing, a lot of the journal cards and tags in here are backed with the same kind of paper. Pretty journal card here. I'm getting sick of the piles and piles of scrapbook paper that I have in my workshop. They're taking up a lot of space, and a lot of them are just papers that I'm never going to use. And so I took a big stack of them and I coffee dyed them all, and I'm just using the backs to back things. So if the layers ever come apart, you're going to see some weird stuff under there, but that's what I'm doing. Pretty little tag there. This is from an old certificate that I have that I scanned. A lot of the images are Catholic, I believe, and I am not Catholic, but I'm really drawn to all the imagery and everything that they use. This is from an old prayer book. And I've put a lot of white butterflies throughout the book too. You'll see quite a few of those. Isn't that pretty? Just a little flip. You can certainly attach something there if you'd like to. This one flips out. A little bit of digital collage here, and then I added a butterfly. On here I've used, let's turn that, a piece of acetate that I printed some stained glass on. There's a few of those throughout the book. This particular one, I'm not really sure that that was from a church, but I kind of looked at it and saw all of the castles, and I thought, well, it's sort of like in my father's house there are many mansions, so it reminded me of that. And I put those in here so that you can flip them up and write underneath. A little tag or journal card. And that's just another flip here. Again, you could attach something. If you have your own ephemera, I tried to leave places that you could add things in. And lots of writing space too in here. This is a couple of layers that are glued together, but they create a little tuck. And I just made a little booklet here with some different scraps of neutral sort of papers. Tried to stick to a color theme mostly of neutrals and blues in this book. Another hymnal page. A few white lilies are put throughout the book too. Okay, we come to the second signature. I haven't said there are 3 signatures in the book. Little butterfly here. This is some more digital collage. I've been playing with that a little bit. I'm not very good at it, and my computer is not very, it's not a very good tool for it. But I play with it a little bit. The Gospels there. This is from an old book, Consider the Lilies. It's a scan, it's not original. Another journal card here. I have a fly in here, which is really annoying. It's really strange too. It doesn't happen very often. This is another little page from a prayer book that I have that's, I think, like table prayers, like saying grace before your meals. Just a narrow page made out of wrapping paper. And this is a really big pull-out here, this beautiful image of a church. I mean, wow, isn't that beautiful? So on the other side, you could write on the whole thing. There's lots of space there. And the base page of that is a book from a, probably a book meant for like an altar guild or something, where it talks about flower arrangements for the altar. Here's another one of my little girls, and this particular one I cut the window out and made it into a little card. And then underneath I just put that image of, I think that is white lilacs underneath there. And she's tight. I'm going to have to treat that one with a little bit of wax paper. That if you just slide wax paper in and out of there a few times, it makes the tags go in and out of the pocket really nicely. Nice plain one on the back. This is another one of my certificates that I scanned and then I folded it into an envelope. And in here I've got these images that I printed out, and I treated them like postcards, even though they're not really postcard size, but I added some stamps and rubber stamped some little things on there, and then added the word postcard on the back. I just thought those made nice little journal cards to tuck into this envelope. I think I'm pretty centered there. All right. This is a beautiful image of some embroidery that I printed out, and I thought maybe I would hand stitch around the edge of that, but I wound up not doing it. My books get so fat, I just thought I don't want to add any more thickness to it. In here I just tucked a printout of a cover from some old sheet music. I'll remember you and pray for you still. I thought that was sweet. Nice place to journal on the back. And then this is that flower arrangement for the altar page again. This one flips open and there's lots of blank space in here to write. And then I created a little tuck spot down here. And we have another one of these stained glass images. This one is backed, so you could write on the back of this. It's just attached with one of those little brads. But you can also write under here. And sometimes the writing looks really cool when you see it through the window. So you're seeing the same things again here as we go through the second half of the signature. Here's another little tag. This is from an old German book that I have. It has like calendars and stuff in it, and it has pictures of ministers, so I think it's a religious book of some sort, but I don't know. I don't read German, so I don't know what it all means. Pretty images there. And now we're to the third signature. This was a hymnal page that was larger, so I turned it on its side and took advantage of the fold at the bottom and made it into a pocket. And in here I just tucked another sheet music cover. This one is Someone Somewhere is Praying for You, and then you can write on the back. Little flip here. This was from some kind of a Sunday school book. Really pretty edge on that paper. I love that foxing or whatever you call it, where it gets darker on the edges. Now this page I did a pop-up, so we have a butterfly in there. And then on the other side, it's a little extra booklet. So that's why I said, you know, the number of pages in the book are kind of depends on how you count them, because these are actually several pages here that I added in going the other way that I didn't even count. And then you get to here, and this created a little side tuck and another journal card in here. A little bit more of those squares. I love that look. And then pretty lily here. Another top tuck here, or a, yeah, top tuck I guess you call it. The tag. This is from, I think this means births and baptisms. I think it's a page from a Bible, and I believe that I got that as a digital somewhere. And then this is a super, super delicate page from an Italian, I don't know if it's a Bible or some kind of a religious book. Again, I also don't read Italian, but this is super fragile paper. You can see that I've reinforced it with some labels, some sticky tape there, and also I've used some paper glued on here. I used a lot of stuff at the spine to keep it from tearing out. The edges will probably get frayed and torn, but again, I don't mind that. And then this is from somebody's Bible study book, and I loved the blue. I love the sort of the contrast between this old Italian with this old paper and then the blue of the mimeograph, and I just added that in. It's tipped in, it's glued in there, and then I just made that so that it flips up so you can write underneath there. And these are scraps of the silk from the spines of the books. Just made a little cluster there. Here's another little up tuck, and on this one I just made a little, sort of like a little booklet to write. These are little faux stamps that I made. I just printed these really small as index images with my printer, and then I went with the sewing machine around them and made them perforated and tore them out. So I have a whole sheet of those to use yet. Jesus with the cross. I like that picture of Jesus. A little different than some others that you see. And here's another one of these tucks. And here I just put a little folded card. I like the perforations, or that was how it was bound into a book. I think it was a calligraphy book. Here's another pretty transparency or acetate. This image is actually from my church. That's the Good Shepherd window. I have so many Good Shepherd images, I could make a whole journal just on that. So I guess I must like that. The Lord is my shepherd. Okay, here this flips open. This is the other half of that Sunday school book. There's just a little tag there. Not a whole lot of writing space on there, but on the bottom on both sides there's some. Pretty little girls here. Then this is the other half of that hymnal page. And on this one I just folded the edge over. And in there I tucked a little postcard of a church. Trinity Church in Boston is what this one is. This is not a real postcard. Digital picture, digital back that I glued together. Another little butterfly there. That brings us to the end. There's my label. All right, so I'm going to flip through the other two quickly just so you can see what they look like. Then I got to get to the work of editing the video and getting it posted on YouTube and getting the listings ready for Etsy. So, okay. So the butterflies are all going to be a little different. The hymn pages are going to be a little different. And the collage, of course, I just punched out a zillion squares and then just went through each one and created them. So they'll all be a little bit different. I also used different images of the girls in each one. That's the same card. And that's the same. And that's the same. Isn't that pretty? Somebody's drawing. I don't need to talk as much for this one. You've seen it. This same exact little booklet in there. Same lilies too. This is a French. I don't know if I said that when I went through the first one. It's from a French hymnal. Same little guy there. When you're mostly using digitals in your book, it's just as easy to print 3 of them and make 3 books out of it. It takes longer because all the details and stuff take longer to put it all together, but so that's why I have 3 that are almost the same. Same cards in here. Same sheet music in there. And the same here. Obviously this is a book page, so that's going to be a little different. The prayers are going to be a little different because those are originals. I've used this image before in other prayer journals. The blue part was actually red in the original, and for this one I just digitally changed it to blue to go with the blue of the book. I'm not super savvy with the computer. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. I have some old program that is from like the 90s. But I know how to use it, so it suits me okay. I'll call that same little cluster there. Same stamps here, same digitals. Pretty window again. Sorry about the glare on that. Same here. Obviously, again, the hymnal pages are all a little different because those are original. So that's book number 2. I'm just sticking the number in the front so I don't mix them up. And then here's number 3. And I'll go even faster with this one and just point out the things that are different. Okay. Pretty lady there, pretty girl. Same. Sorry, it's probably boring to see most of it the 3rd time, but I just want to get to the things like the pictures and stuff that are a little different, or maybe there's a certain hymn that you really like and that'll catch your eye. Isn't she pretty? Okay, we're almost done. Good night and good morning. Butterfly there. I used the same butterfly in all of those. Just because I like the colors. It had a little bit of orange and a little bit of blue in it. And it's a really nice crisp image, so it's it prints out big like that really nicely. And see, you're going to get little shreds of paper here and there. It happens. There's that. I never showed that, I don't think. That's just that page that flips out. Same thing in here, the Jesus on the cross. There is one page that's in a little bit different order in this book too. I stitched all my signatures in, and the second one has the envelope right in the center. So the stitching is inside here and you can't see it, and it's glued closed. The whole envelope is constructed around that. And the page was left out, so I had to take apart the third signature and add it in. So it's in a little different spot, but so, you know, mistakes happen. We work around them. So there we go. So those 3 little books are in my Etsy shop, and I hope that you are interested in taking a look at those. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm working hard in my shop. I'm going to try to get some more books listed soon. But thanks for sticking with me, and have a wonderful day. Bye.